Good morning, guys. It is Thursday morning. It is about 6:20. I'm really tired this morning. I had a very hard time falling asleep. I think I was quite stressed and I had a lot of headache, so I ended up going up and getting some pills, and then I finally fell asleep. However, I've been waking up all night, but I took my 6th tablet today for the progesterone, so I only have 4 more days and then things should be back to normal. Christopher hasn't really woken up yet, so I'm trying to be a little bit quiet. I think he just got up, so I am going to fix a cup of coffee and kind of wake up a little bit more too. Good morning, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'm back home from the blood test taking. It is about 20 minutes to 9. I'm super tired. I have a video to edit, but I think I'm going to take a break first because, yeah, I just got in. It's really getting fall outside. It is raining. I'm not super fond of going out in the rain, but there is something really nice about sitting inside and watching the rain fall outside. If you can hear the donka 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 sound in the background, which just paused for a second, they are piling for I think it is the garage on the other side of the road just outside my house. So basically we knew this when we moved in, that opposite our houses there would be office complexes, and I didn't know there would be like this massive garage, a multi-level garage, but that's okay. So we knew that it was going on, and they finally started, I think about a year ago or 6 months ago, and they're almost done with the new headquarters for the company that actually built our houses. So the company that built our houses is called Peab, so P-E-A-B, and they're gonna move their headquarters here. So they just built the headquarters. It's not complete. There's no inside of the house. It's just concrete, but they have gotten almost all the windows up and all the levels are up. And then they are now piling for the garage, and then there is going to be a second building next to that also going to have like piling and stuff, but I don't think that will happen until like 2020 or something like that. Yeah. So right now I live next to a 7 to 5 rave, because you have that dunka 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 dunka. Yeah. No, it didn't. No. At least they're quiet during the night so that we can sleep. It's one of those things that kind of stresses me a little bit, the sound of the donka donka donka, but yeah, it's okay. So now I have to wait about a couple of hours to be able to see the results on the interwebs. I'm going in and checking my test results. That's the way I work, so I'm going to do that. But I also need to call my doctor now this morning so that I can get a telephone time so we can discuss the test, so I can start the medication. So that is one thing I have to do today. And then I have a package arriving with FedEx. Yay! So I'm gonna wait for that. They can arrive anytime between like 9 and I think 9 in the evening, so it's 12 hours that I need to stay home until the package arrives at least. And then I'm waiting for an email. I'm actually gonna contact her today because it's actually the 18th, because I pre-ordered the Distress Oxide inks, so I'm gonna go and get them. I realized one thing. I think I talked about it, but I don't know if it actually came in. Now it's back. Dunk. But I realized I was calculating, basically the Swedish crown has weakened against the dollar, so the dollar is quite high for me to buy, so the prices are a little bit higher. But also postage has gone up, and they have changed like how they do taxes, so it's more expensive to get stuff into the country, much more expensive to get stuff into the country. And I never been against paying taxes, but because of how the whole system is, I can't prepay my taxes, and I won't get my package until I paid, and they have about a 3-week delay. So all packages from the US that go through conventional post, like USPS, they will take me 6 to 8 weeks to arrive, and that is kind of not really working for me right now, because I have plans in December, so I can't really buy anything from them. And also there's a lot of supplies you're like, I want them now. My favorite things ones I get within a week, because I can order them through FedEx, so that's good. And FedEx sends you a bill for the taxes. It still costs the same. I still have the same like things I need to pay on that. I have to pay a little bit to FedEx because of how they do it, and I have to pay a little bit to the customs services, and then I have to pay my customs. So yeah, customs, taxes, same thing, I think. Is there? Yeah, anyhow. So I do those I get earlier. However, I figured out I have a local store that actually have really affordable prices, and I calculated and found that to be able to actually save money when it comes to buying directly from the US, I need to buy for something hilarious like $300-400. So I started to order things from her instead. So I ordered the oxide inks. I'm gonna go and get them in the store, and I'm gonna go get some other things there while I'm there, so that I can continue doing all my cards and stuff. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna to get some breakfast and all that jazz. I checked my test results, and they are in. I have a much higher prolactin level now. When we looked at it about a month ago, I had 472, and that is still in the normal range. The normal range goes up to 498, but I had my migraines and I knew that it was too high for me. This is a problem with hormones, and that is that the normal range is very different from different persons. And also many people actually look at the prolactin levels different depending on if you are menopausal or not. And menopausal, I was not in the normal range, but it's still too low. I don't know, they're strange. But my value is now 767, so it has actually risen with 300 points. So I am well and above being a normal range, which means that she needs to treat me now. It's been a little bit of a fight. I've been having to do this for years now, and it is rough meeting a new doctor because I never know how they will treat me. I never know, and it's very hard to kind of figure out how to treat them. Every doctor is different, and you will have to communicate with them differently. A lot of doctors, you have to sort of stroke their ego, sadly, but that's the case. So then you have to play this person that doesn't really know anything, and so that they kind of, because I don't have the education, many is like, yeah, but you can read in Google how much you like, but I actually have gone this, blah, 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 blah. However, I do read medical journals, I read medical reports and research papers. I don't read like just basic web pages on Google. but you need to have these conversations with them, and it's this very tight rope, knowing how much to say and how little to say, and how to be kind of saying, this is how it actually is, listen to me. Because some will, different amounts of oomph needed for different amounts of doctors. So it's always very hard to finding a new doctor, because it's very hard to kind of figuring them out. So I've been a little bit worried with this endocrinologist to kind of figure out what the issue is. And now my value is 747, so it has gone up. The medication that I took in March did push it very, very hard down to a very small value. However, you need to kind of stay on that kind of medication for about 2 years, because you will lower the dose, but you will not shrink the cyst, and you won't shrink it to the degree that it actually disappears. I couldn't stay on that dose that I was on, because it caused medical depression, chemical depression. Yes, chemical depression. So that was why I went off it, and it has taken until now, so it's taken about 6 months for it to actually go back to the level it was when I started my medication. But it's now up on that level, and I was thinking that it has risen because my migraine has gotten worse to the degree that I started to needing painkillers again, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, but it's been a little bit of stress, because what if I take this test and it hasn't risen? That what if also always exists. It's like the theory from me and from my doctors is that the migraines is based on the prolactinoma and the prolactin levels, because you can see, if you look at it, you see how whenever it has risen, so has my migraines, and when it goes lower, my migraine goes lower. So it does have a correlation. That was the word, a correlation between them two. But you never know. And because it's so hard, because some tests you can't take, I have gone around and been a little bit scared, because what if my value hasn't risen and my migraine has gotten worse, then there's something else. And then we have to put a lot of energy into kind of figuring that out, and I just don't have that capacity at the moment to sit down and over and over again going through all these papers. And the stronger the migraine is, the less my logical sense works, and the less everything else makes sense for me. I'm extremely lucky that I have so much brain power to put into this. I'm extremely lucky that I have the logical sense, that I was born with a brain that is awesome, to plain simple. And I do thank God for that, and I do thank my genes for that, to be able to actually understand everything the doctor says and actually be the one who's driven. Because there's a lot of doctors that says, yeah, but this isn't true, or it's just stress. And if I hadn't have this logical capacity, the IQ level that I have, then maybe I wouldn't have understood that they are just bullshit. It's that I maybe just, yeah, I don't know, but the value's up. So I'm gonna call my doctor, and I'm gonna see if when I can get a phone call with her so that I can get my medication. Yeah. It is afternoonish, around 2, and I'm going to sit down and I'm gonna get that video edit. I'm gonna kind of make some kind of pseudo scripts to be able to do the voiceover, add all of the fun things that I need to add to it, and that's gonna be fun. I have spent my morning talking to my mom, which I don't often do. It was really nice. got a package from FedEx, and then I have gamed a little bit. So I kind of rested up from not really sleeping last night. This one tracks my sleep. It doesn't track all the waking up because I notice that I'm waking up, but this, you need to move more for this to react. However, my Fitbit is much better at it than my other one that I had before, which wasn't Fitbit. So I love my Fitbit. But anyhow, I slept like 6.5 hours, almost 7 tonight, so I'm a little bit tired. I have gotten my package, and I thought I'd do kind of a quick little haul for you because yes, I like showing you things I buy. Sometimes that's bad, but okay, let's get going. So there is quite a lot in the package because I had some plans. I needed to do some plans. So let's start. The first thing I actually got was this Nuvo crystal cloud circle. So basically sequins or confetti. Really good to have for shaker cards, Christmas shaker cards. So that was my first buy. When I found it, I was like, this is going to go into my box. Then when you buy from My Favorite Things, you get free stuff. If you buy just after a release, they usually have a free stamp. That one you get if there is enough. So they basically have a box filled of them, and if people have too many orders, then they run out and then you won't get one. But I had an early order, so I got the reindeer. He's so adorable. Yeah, he's just super adorable. So that's the free stamp. Then you get a free die if you buy over a certain amount of money. So you don't have to add anything to do it. If your order passes, I think it's $60, you get this, or you get a free die. And the free die is a die that will be released next release. So basically, so this is going to be released for next release, so people who didn't get the free die this month can buy it the next month. So this is these hills and some trees. I think it's going to be cool, and I'm even thinking about working with them together just to make a little card, just for fun. Then I have a pattern paper card, pattern paper pack. This is the My Favorite Things ones. It's a Candyland, and they actually kind of go color to color with the colors they have in the cardstock, which is one of the things I like with Stampin' Up. However, Stampin' Up doesn't deliver to Sweden at all, so yeah, I really like it. So I got this pack because I love pattern papers, and I rarely have the opportunity to use My Favorite Things ones because the ones I have is very neutral. So yeah. Then let's say what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the dies. I'm trying to collect all their stacks, and they're a little bit more expensive, but I really love how they cut. This one has like an outer border and then just a stitched edge, so that it doesn't cut in the inside. So you get a full circle with this edge on, with circles. I thought that would be super awesome to have, to be able to use. And then I got these. These are super teeny tiny. These are gonna, like, here's a stamp set. And they're super teeny. I have a similar one they had for their tag builder set, but they were this big. So these are super teeny tiny, and I really like them. So happy to get that. This is some doilies. I love working with doilies, but the ones I have is too big. So I got this set, and I didn't realize they were so tiny. But this is going to be awesome, because I like them tiny. So yeah, the package of the tiny things. And then I have a whole bunch of stamps. And it's the same stamp designer, I think, for most of these stamp sets. I just realized I have one that is so old that it doesn't have a stamp on it. So first is this, which isn't that company, isn't that designer, and it's these cute little birds. my dad liked birds, so I'm gonna make a Christmas card to my parents with this. That is the thing. Then we have the BB. I never remember what her name is. But we're gonna start with these two because these are the old ones. I just saw that they didn't have it stamped on this one, but I have the original packaging. This is Jingle All the Way. I think this was last year. This was definitely last year. This might have been last year, but I didn't pick them up then. However, they are super adorable, and I realized I don't have any stamps, Christmas stamps for my favorite things. So I got these two from last year's because they're super adorable, and I've been wanting them, and now it's Christmas, so I can use them. And then I got these, which was this release. So I think these were the only things from this release that I actually got. This one, which is a big Christmas tree, which you can do, and the cookies and the milk and packages and all of those things with a little Santa hiding behind the tree. And the full ones, because I'm not done doing full cards. So I needed one of these just to do some full cards. So yeah. And the last thing I got was 3 pattern paper, no, cardstock pieces. I love the cardstock that they have. They have the Prestige cardstock, where you get 15 sheets in a package. I did the Summer Splash and the Coral Crush. I also have the kind of coordinating one, which is Tropical Teal, that matches this one. And then I got this kind of purplishish Boysenberry, and I really like this color. This matches. This looks very blue on screen. It's actually super purple. I hope it actually looks purple when... Yeah, it's very, very purple, and it matches some of the cardstock for... or pattern... the Doolbug Design pattern paper packs. So that's what I got that. And then I have this, which looks great, but it isn't, because this is vellum. This is a heavyweight translucent vellum, and I've been wanting to play around with some vellum, and I didn't really have any. I discovered, I think, one sheet when I worked with all of this redecoration. I'm really tired. Words don't come out. It's like wading through porridge in my brain or something. But anyhow, that was my package, and I'm really excited. So I got all of these stuff so I can have something to play with, and I have all of these ideas running in my mind. But first, I'm actually going to sit down and edit my video, so that is done. But yeah, I'm editing. I'm listening to Amanda's podcast, which is called Knit Cute now, and I have a little kitty, which she's been lying here for like 15 minutes, and I started the camera, so then she's leaving. She do not want to be on camera, but she's been lying in my lap for like 15 minutes, and it's been spinning and purring is the word you say. Yes, she's been purring and just been adorable. My video is edited and voiced over, and now I have to wait for it to render. I have realized that most of the time I actually don't have to render the video before I do the voiceover. However, I do need to do the rendering of the voiceover, or rendering the whole video with the voiceover afterwards. I can do whichever, but this time I knew that I needed to maybe cut things down and move things around. So here's the thing. I have a kind of definite, this is how long I'm allowed to make the video. And I have a 15-minute mark. Can't be longer than 50 minutes. And usually I don't cut mine down so thoroughly. I do have like small funny things I'm saying in the middle and stuff like that. But this time I had to be very concise. I had to think about how much I sped things up. And I started to use another tool that I haven't used before. Basically as being able to move the speeding up of the clip, because you can do that in Final Cut. So some of them has like 255% sped up, and the other one is 239, mostly just to hit a mark. And it was fun. It was exciting. It was a little bit of a challenge. When I cut down all the clips, I had 33 minutes. And I had to cut that down to even more. So I did remove a few things that I was considering having, that I removed. And then I shortened some other things. But I got it to fit. I think it was a good thing. And yeah, a lot of fun. So it's gonna render it at 12%. So it's probably will take 15 minutes, half an hour. So yeah, done. Now I can work on moving all of these things away so I can make a card, and I have to figure out which card I want to make. That is the problem, because here's the thing. I want to make either a my favorite thing card or a lawn fawn card for tomorrow's video, or tomorrow's, depending on when I'm ready with it. And I want to use either the challenges from my favorite thing or the challenges from Lawn Fawn. I'm thinking I want to use the challenges for Lawn Fawn, even though that one has the longest time. The other one has shorter time before a new challenge comes along. I'm gonna use it because that is the one I've been going around thinking about. But I need to go through the Lawn Fawn stamps. But yeah, so first I'm gonna clean off the table and then I'm gonna play. Well guys, it's time to head to bed. I did make the project that I wanted to make, that I wanted to get up tomorrow. However, it didn't turn out the way I wanted. Sometimes it doesn't. I didn't go with my gut. I'm like, I'm gonna have this in it and I'm gonna have this in it. And I think I'm gonna redo it tomorrow, and I'm gonna have less things on it to make it look better. So that is kind of the idea. So that is a project for tomorrow, but I was too tired to continue playing. We had dinner, and then we watched some TV series while we had dinner, and then Christopher wanted a game, and we actually ended up starting to look on my iPad, have the TV show on my iPad, and then he could game on the TV. Yeah, because Christopher likes to have TV series going on, even when he's gaming, so that's how it is. And I have a finish. What? You have a finish? What have you finished? I have finished a pair of socks. So let's see here. Here is my new pair of socks. They are like fiery red. They are the, let's see, I don't remember what they called, but it's from the Cozy Sock Club by Mina. So this is the second in the Cozy Sock Club. She has 2 sock clubs that is going on. One is called the Cozy one, and then she has a second one, which I think it's called Wanderlust. Anyhow, this is the second pair in the Cozy Sock Club. So this is the 4th pair of socks that I'm doing in her 2008 sock clubs. Because I bought both of them because I like her sock patterns. They're super simple, and you get like some kind of texture like this. Here you see a kind of close up on that texture. So yeah, those are my finished socks, and I have another pair of socks for winter. And I did them a little bit shorter because I didn't want them to... I don't like to have too high socks. I fold them down anyhow, so this time I chose to go a little bit shorter, and I would, and they're actually the good length, so I don't really have to fold them down. Last year I was being part of her kind of knit along, so then she had some rules. One of them was that you needed to have a certain length on the shaft for them to count, and I didn't. So last year all my socks were a little bit longer, but this year I'm trying to make the socks the length that is most comfortable for me. So I finished those two. They're a size 38-ish, I think, 37, 38, something like that. They fit pretty good. I'm starting to get to a point where they actually start fitting, not too long and not too short. And I cast on a new pair. It's kind of funny. I was so certain. Last year I knitted a pair of orange and black striped socks because I bought these self-striping yarns from a dyer called Asfaltsflickan. She's actually Swedish. She comes from the northern part of Sweden, and she does these really, really cool self-striping yarns. So I thought, well, I needed to buy some, and I did. And I was so sure that I bought two of the same idea, but kind of just different color schemes. I thought I had one that was orange and black and one that was purple and black, and I thought that this would be my Halloween socks. And when I went to get the braid today, it was pink and blue. It was bright pink, like my hair, and blue. I'm like, this is not a Halloween sock, because I thought I'd start them now for Halloween socks. But I took them anyway. I bought glittery socks. I love glittery socks. However, they're a little bit itchy because I didn't take the merino wool. I'm fleece intolerant, or what you call it, so I get very itchy. So every yarn that I use is merino yarns. They're super soft and they're super non-itchy. They usually have 20 to 25% nylon in them, so then they work perfectly. I also like BFL, but merino is actually a little bit better. So yeah, I usually do them in merino, but now I'm gonna do them in that pink and blue yarn. I just cast on like the first row on the toes. I kind of like having them cast on and not having to worry about that, because then I can just take my little knitting bag with me wherever I go. Most of my knitting is done when I'm out and about, going to the doctor's appointment or something like that. Always have at least one knit, and sometimes like a mini kit of some cross stitch, just to have something with me to fill up my fingers when I'm waiting, so I don't get bored. I hate getting bored. Anyhow, I'm gonna head to bed, so good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite.